Hi, my name is Doom143, and I am a comic-holic. Man, I felt good. Yeah. Hello YouTubers, Doom143, and I'm back, yes, believe it or not, with another comic haul. Man, I gotta get this comic haul out of the way. There's some great contests right now in the community. Strangeblade has one, Soma Hobbies has one, Deadpool 2323 has one, and I really want to kind of get those things done, but I really want to get this haul out of the way. We are looking at basically some hot variants, well, in my opinion, hot variants. We got some very minor minor first appearances, and we're going to sprinkle in some spec books as well. So hopefully you're into all of that stuff. There are some YouTubers out there. Definitely I want to get out there. I am going to leave links to those three awesome YouTubers that are having some contests going on. I am also going to leave links to these new YouTubers that I've recently discovered, and I kind of want you guys to sub them up because they've been doing really great stuff, and one of them especially, the comic crypt of Castle Hills. Now this guy's actually a legend in the YouTube community. I mean, he right now, if you look, he only has 80 subs, but that has a long story. Trust me when I say Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. He's a legend, and he's been around for a long time, and I just want to get him back up. He definitely deserves all of his subs back. There's also another gentleman by the name of Joseph 3 Banks, really great YouTuber, love his stuff, just dope beats. If you love dope beeps and dope comics and a dope YouTuber that uses the word dope a lot, you'll definitely like Joseph Treebanks. Tom S. Ryden, I'll leave a link for him, and Chris Witunsky as well. I'll leave a link to these guys. Definitely check them out, sub them up. New YouTubers in our community, with the exception of Comic Crypt of Castle Hill. And yeah. So, let's show some support, let's show some love, let's show some aloha to all of these new guys, and one legend, just welcoming him back. Damn, I can't talk this morning. All right, let's get into the comics, guys. All right, so what we got here is Iron Fist #1. This is the Delato variant. Beautiful cover. When I first saw it out, I was talking about this, and I was like, I needed to have this book. I mean, Delato brings out some awesome work. His oil painting is by far the best in the business, and I definitely had to pick it up. I actually picked up the 3-pack, and I was actually disappointed in one of them, and I'll show you which one it is. And it's not this one, because the Virgin variant is just beautiful. I love the Virgin cover. It really is a piece of art. It needs to be framed, and I'll probably somehow find a way to frame it. And I absolutely love owning this book in my, having this book in my collection. Now, the one that did disappoint me was the black and white. It literally, it might be hard to tell from this point of view, but if you ever saw this comic book up close, it literally looks like a Xerox copy of this. It literally looks like someone took that comic, put it in a Xerox, and then wrapped it around the comic book. It is horrendous. I hate it. It's a horrible cover. But these are pretty exclusive. I kind of forgot the count. I want to say the Virgins was only 600 made. I want to say 1,500 of these were made, and the regular cover was only about 3,000. So definitely super stoked to have this in my collection. Love having it, with the exception of this black and white. We got Inhumans #2. This is a variant done by Frank Cho. The cool thing about this one is, for most of you guys, spoiler alert, You guys know that Inhumans are actually going to be shooting their TV show. Cool thing is they're actually going to be doing a huge part of it here in Hawaii. Well, this one here, Inhumans number 2, is actually the first appearance of the new humans. I'm not going to go into detail as far as like what the new humans are, but basically it's just a way to separate the Inhumans, the original guys, and the new humans, which is the new Inhumans. The new humans will probably somehow, some way, probably make their way into the TV show. And so this is the first appearance. If you're into specs and all of that stuff, not necessarily a flip, but if you find it in the cheap, it's just a good book to own, you know? I got myself, Jesus, I don't know. I got myself like I got 3 copies of this Miss Marvel, Mighty Captain Marvel, number 3, the Venomized variant. I didn't pick up all the Venomized stuff. I just was really selective on the ones that I wanted. But this is one that I definitely, as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. I'm not too sure if Matina did this one. It has a very Matina look to it. I didn't really investigate into who actually did this one, but this definitely has a really strong Matina vibe to it. It could be a Clayton Crane because they both kind of have like that same vibe. Like I said, I didn't check into it, but it is a great comic just to own, just for cover's sake. It's a fabulous cover. A lot of the Venomized ones are really awesome, and a lot of them are horrible too. But I felt like the Mighty Captain Marvel, and then this next one, the new Wolverine, again, I picked up another 3 copies of this. The all-new Wolverine was actually another one that I knew I had to pick up really quickly. There is a 1 in 500 variant for this, and that thing goes for like crazy bucks. And I'm not gonna pick it up just because it's black and white. Like I said, some of these black and white covers, although they're cool, they just really end up looking like a Xerox copy of the original cover, and it doesn't sell me enough. This next variant I was very glad to have. I have a really good buddy, for all you guys know, Freddy's 562. He's a really good friend of mine, and we were talking about just I guess you would say undervalued comic book cover artists that people really don't talk about. You know, we all talk about, you know, Matina, Delato. We'll talk about people like Campbell, J. Scott Campbell, Adam Hughes, you know, Alex Ross. But not a lot of people are talking about In-Hyuk Lee. And In-Hyuk Lee definitely comes out with a lot of great covers, and this is one that is just, it's a sick cover. This is Age of Ultron number 3. This is the variant. Beautiful book. Doesn't really go for that much. You can pick these up for like 20 bucks. Adi Granoff also does a Hulk variant, and I'm not going to say this one is better, but it's definitely, you know, along the same lines as just one of the best Hulk covers out there right now. There are some classic ones, but as far as right now, this is a sick Hulk cover, and I was glad to find it. So I have to thank my boy Freddy's 562 for kind of letting me know about that one. There's just a couple of cool variants here. We got Amazing Spider-Man 658. Actually, you know what? My bad. Not even a variant. Just a really cool cover. This is pretty much the costume when he was kind of hanging out with the Fantastic Four. So really cool to have this one in my collection. Glad to own it. Sorry about that. This is Spider-Man 692. So this is a variant. This is the 50 years. So really great cover to have. Really hard to find in just 9/8 because of the whole white thing. This book can get dirty really quickly, but I know this particular comic shop, they just grabbed it, they bagged and boarded it in Mylar, and then that's about it. So really glad to own this one. Glad to have it in my collection. And this one, I also found this one as well. This one I was super stoked to have found this one because I love Gabriel Delato. He does some magnificent work. This one is Amazing Spider-Man 687, the variant done by Delato, and this is just a sick cover. Like this thing, like you know, if you see this on the shelf, you want to pick it up just because of the whole cover aspect. I mean, this is one of those covers that it makes you want to see the inside of the comic just to see what exactly is going on. And some of these cover artists, I mean, that's what they do. You know, they have that ability to sell the comic without you even knowing what's on the inside. And Gabriel Delato is definitely one of the best at it. So really stoked to have this one. Now, okay, so I don't know. I think it was like April Fool's Day. A YouTuber named He's Got Issues was talking about this book. Now, if he's got issues, he's got freaking issues, is watching this video, I'm gonna need a little help from you because, see, that's the thing. When he was talking about this, it came out during April Fool's Day, but I thought it was still interesting though. So this is the first appearance of Wolverina, which has a very X-23 kind of vibe to it. Now, from what I understand, her name is actually Logana, like Logan, but with an A, so her name is Logana. But he's got freaking issues with saying that her name is actually Laura Kinney. So I opened up the comic. I decided to read it. I decided to. I wasn't even actively looking for this. I was basically just digging through some boxes, and I actually came across a newsstand and a regular variant, the regular and a newsstand variant. And so I decided to kind of just dig through it. I didn't see anywhere that they call her Laura Kinney or anything like that, but still, nonetheless, I just really wanted to pick it up just because I thought it was an interesting book, interesting cover. I'm a huge X-23 fan, and I just, you know, this actually predates all of that stuff. Not a spec at all, just something I just thought it would be kind of cool. So actually, you know what? We're done with the variants. We're kind of heading into the first appearances. So this is actually the first appearance of Wolverina or Logana. So that was pretty cool. Just, you know, a couple of cool stuff. This is Web of Spider-Man. What is this? 118. The first appearance of the, jeez, I'm losing track of my mind now. Scarlet Spider-Man. Scarlet Spider. So this one's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys are reading the Clone Conspiracy that's been out for Spider-Man, but I'm not going to spoil anything, but minor spoiler alert. You know, I'm just going to say Ben Reilly. That's it. I'm just going to say Ben Reilly. I'm not going to spoil it just in case you're reading the Clone Conspiracy. But I'm just going to say Ben Reilly. Anyway, so this is the first appearance of the Scarlet Spider. And, you know, this is a book I've wanted to own for a while, and it's in a really great shape, man. This is easily a 9496 and got a really great price. The cool thing about this too is, I don't know if you saw any of the Homecoming trailers, but there seems to be a bit in it where Spider-Man kind of loses his costume. Like Iron Man takes the original costume away, and he's forced to kind of just use his own, and it has a very Scarlet Spider feel to it. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. Just something definitely I just wanted to add in my collection. So this is something that I bought, just wanted to own, and you know, I'm not gonna say a crazy spec, but it was pretty cool because, like I said, in the Homecoming, it seems like he does have a little bit of that costume on. And going back to the spec play on the Spider-Man Homecoming. So this is Marvel Age Annual number 4. And this is the first appearance of Damage Control. So basically what the story looks like in the Homecoming is that the Vulture is actually, either he works for Damage Control or he used to own the company Damage Control. And because Tony Stark is taking over that whole cleanup kind of, the whole cleaning up of the city after all the superheroes destroys the city, it seems like Vulture kind of gets upset, or the guy who plays Vulture gets upset and then turns into the Vulture. But I don't know if he owns Damage Control, but I know there's a big part of it that has to do with the company Damage Control. So this is Marvel Age Annual number 4, first appearance of Damage Control. Just a really cool book to own. Went to San Diego, I think it was last year, and I picked up Superman 234. So this is Superman 235. But I picked up Superman 234, and in Superman 234, the reason I picked it up is this was a really cool Neil Adams cover, and I don't think this is Neil Adams. It could be, but 234 was a Neil Adams cover, and so I was on a plane flying back from San Diego to Hawaii. I decided to open up the comic and read it, and it really left like a cliffhanger. So the moment I was able to find Superman 235, I knew I wanted to find it. So I think this is the first appearance of a guy called Swifter. And if you read Superman 234, you'll see that Superman loses all his abilities while he's around this character. And so I thought it was pretty cool to just kind of just own the next issue. And I haven't had time to dig into it, but I'm definitely going to dig into it because I can't just be left on a cliffhanger like I just did. But this is again, Superman 235. So this book I actually found for like $5 right here. Now, it's not in a really good condition at all. There's definitely some spine ticks. There's a little bit of, who knows what the hell that is, a doo-doo stain. A couple of cool things about it. One, we all know that Jusko is doing a bunch of his variants right now for a lot of the superheroes. And I thought it was cool that this right here was actually where, is one of those, I don't want to say swipes. Maybe he did it for all I know. But all I know is that's definitely one of the poses he got for one of his Jusko covers, the Spider-Man Jusko cover. But this one right here, Amazing Spider-Man 86, this is actually the first appearance of Black Widow in her new costume, like the Black Widow costume that we know now. This is actually the first appearance of it. So it's Amazing Spider-Man 86, and it's pretty cool to see because they actually show her taking off like an old costume and putting on like this new costume. And it's just a book I wanted to own. It was nothing that I really, really wanted to get in a really crazy condition, so I was totally fine just paying $5 for this condition here. It's not that bad, but I mean, if I was to get this graded, which I wouldn't, it'd probably come back as a 4, 5. All right, so down to like the nitty gritty. Again, my boy, I have to thank Freddy's562 for this one. So this is Tomb Raider Witchblade #1. Luckily for me, I was able to find 3 different covers, and all signed by Michael Turner for like $20. I was beside myself. So what is this? Well, this is actually the first appearance of Tomb Raider in comics. And so, with the whole Tomb Raider movies coming out and stuff like that, sometimes people like to find these things as far as like, what's the first appearance of Tomb Raider? What's Tomb Raider Witchblade #1? This was back in 1997. And like I said, luckily for me, it was signed by Michael Turner. There is no COAs on any of these, but I do know what a Michael Turner signature looks like. And yeah, that's definitely it. So I actually found this cover. I found this one is really nice too. It's got those black borders, so you got to be careful. And I think at most it has really just like 3 really minor spine ticks, which I'm super glad to have. Again, signed by Michael Turner up here. And I was also able to find another copy of Witchblade Tomb Raider #1. And I'm going to say, this is actually a variant as well. So this is another sick variant as well. Another great Michael Turner cover. Again, signed by Michael Turner right up here. And yeah, so like I was saying, first appearance of Tomb Raider in comics. So definitely super stoked if you're one of those people that like to buy comics just based on movies coming out. Hopefully you buy it before the movie comes out. I think right now is a really good time because there's really nothing on it. There's just been some talks of the Tomb Raider movie being made. Actually, you know what? They are making it. Never mind, they are making it. I've seen some pictures of them doing it. Okay, so this one I'm going to need a little help with right here. So this is Art 2, #18, and this is a real far-fetched spec book, and I'm pretty sure this is the comic to own. Now, if anybody has any other opinions on it, it's fine. Please let me know. But from what I understand, I forgot where I got this information from. I have to apologize for that. But the cool thing about this, and I gotta dig into it, I did read it. I didn't really see where Lex Luthor and Steppenwolf actually possesses Superman to be a villain. But that's pretty much the source behind this, is where Steppenwolf and Lex Luthor actually, in a sense, makes Superman a bad guy. Brings him back and then makes him as a bad guy. So I'm not saying that the Justice League movie is going to take that route as far as bringing Superman back from the dead, and Lex Luthor and Steppenwolf, who is guaranteed to be in the next Justice movie, is going to have Superman as the antagonist, which would be very interesting. But from what I understand, this is definitely the book to own. If that is the case, if that ends up being like the weirdest case of all. really crazy spec. Like I said, it's far-fetched, but yeah, just one of those things, you know, you never know. So yeah. Oh geez. All right. So yeah, that was basically my haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, definitely gonna leave links to those people I was talking about. There's like 3 contests right now. I know that's going on. I definitely want to get involved in those. There's some new YouTubers that I definitely want you guys to check out and definitely sub up. And then of course there is a legend here that, you know, due to some circumstances, if you're new, you probably don't know the circumstances, but for us older school guys, we know we were missing Comic Crypt of Castle Hills, and I'm glad to see him back. So I would definitely like everybody to go and check him out and sub that bad boy back up. All right, guys, that's pretty much about it. So shoots and mahalos.